Thực sự Jesse có nhiều bạn bè, ok? Không phải là yêu Việt Nam hay yêu Canada, Nhật Bản, bởi vì Jesse chỉ là yêu những người trong thế giới, những bạn bè.
Xin chào các bạn. Tôi tên là Jesse, người Canada. Tôi làm cho Tuổi Trẻ Cười vào Việt Nam 7 năm rồi.
Okay, hello Jesse. So your Vietnamese is very good. How long have you been studying Vietnamese?
I've really only been studying about 4 years when I moved to Taiping. Because people, I'm sorry, but people, người Thái Bình không biết tiếng Anh nữa. So I had an obligation. I had to really try to study English, or sorry, Vietnamese when I was living there.
For foreigners, usually Vietnamese is very difficult. So how did you practice your Vietnamese?
It was really difficult for me too. And when I was first in Vietnam, I would go to the market, and I'd be like, "Can I have cô ấy cho mình một trà gì đó?" For example, and she'd be like, "Hail Chetling," and laugh. And then, but then a friend of mine, her name is Leo Phương Anh. She's a singer. She helped me study pronunciation from the beginning.
What kind of experiences has the job been giving you?
Well, I have to always think of something funny, so I have to keep myself as how do I say this politely? I have to keep my brain as stupid as possible. Also, because as a teacher, every day I'm researching new topics, and when I'm doing that, I'm always thinking about new things, and then I try to think about what's funny about that, and then I'll write about it from there.
What are the reasons that made you commit to Tuổi Trẻ Cười?
Oh, actually, last year I started working for Tuổi Trẻ Cười, and then I was like, oh man, I have to write so much. I have to write every 2 weeks, one page article. And in Vietnamese, it's really hard to write Vietnamese and to make it funny, and I was going to quit. But the reason that I commit to Tuổi Trẻ Cười is because of my boss, Mr. Home. He's really funny, and he's really supporting of me.
So you've mentioned a lot of difficulties. So can you tell us more about what kind of difficulties you find while writing funny stories in Vietnamese?
Yeah, because the Canadian humor and the Vietnamese humor is really different. They're not the same. Vietnamese, they laugh at different things. And then sometimes, I'll give you an example. In Canada, we have like, your mama is so fat. And I tried to write that in Vietnamese, like, mày béo quá là. And then I showed to Vietnamese, and they're like, that's not funny. Nó không có hài hước gì cả. And I was like, oh, I think it's funny. But, so there's a different sense of humor, right? That's one difficulty. Lots of times I'll write something in Vietnamese. Yeah. For example, I just wrote about the winter. I was like, người miền Bắc không có mùa đông, bởi vì thực sự ở Việt Nam chỉ có mùa từ đến mùa xoáy nữa. From fall to spring, there's no winter. Yeah. And then I know Vietnamese will be like, no, we have winter, but you don't have snow, right? So I try to write that, and I send it to my boss, and he's like, it's not funny. You can't use that. Well, honestly, the office is a little far. I work at my house. They don't help me a lot. They should help me more, I think. What we do together is we go to like a restaurant, and then we will talk what's funny, like what I think is funny and what Vietnamese people think's funny, and then we'll get some ideas from that and then write it down.
So, do you admire any writers in Tuổi Trẻ Cười or any Vietnamese writer at all?
Oh, sure. Xuân Hương, do you know who she is?
A poet?
Xuân Hương is actually an actress. She's an older actress. Xuân Hương is an actress. Yeah. But she writes for Tuổi Trẻ Cười, and she's really good. And sometimes I meet her for coffee and talk to her, and she's really good. It's still hard for me to read Vietnamese books. But I read like Nguyễn Nhật Ánh. Nguyễn Nhật Ánh, xin một vé tuổi thơ. I read that. because it was easy. And it was pretty funny. He's pretty funny too. He should write for Tuổi Cười because he's like, tại sao người đàn ông có vú? I was like, oh, so why? You should write for Tuổi Cười.
Okay, so do you intend to bring your good sense of humor to Tuổi Cười in the future?
Tuổi Cười always gives me free stuff, and they're always like, "We love you, Jesse." I don't think I can leave them. Probably never. Until one serious problem with Tuổi Cười is that it's a magazine on paper, right?
Yes.
And now everybody's changing to their smartphone, so Tuổi Cười is going down, right? And it's too bad because it's been around for a long time, 32, maybe 32 years. And a lot of the original writers are still writing for it. Like especially this year, people are Tuổi Trẻ bình thường, the normal newspaper it's not selling very much anymore, right? And Tuổi Cười is the same. So I'm worried about the future of Tuổi Cười. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
So I've heard that you are publishing a book. So can you share with us more about this one?
Yeah. I don't want to say too much because I want people to buy it, but the book is in 3 parts, okay? So the first part is like when I was in Canada, because in Canada I'm from a big horse farm. Mm-hmm. We have 40 horses, and it's really far from the city, and there's a lot of experiences there that Vietnamese don't have, right? Living with nature. So, and I'm a big like camping and mountain wilderness guy, mm-hmm. So I want to share a lot of that. The second one is when I went to Afghanistan in 2006.
In the army?
Yeah. And there's some really good stories in that one. And actually, there's a book about me already, another writer wrote, and my group. And I'm sharing about that. And the third part is coming to Vietnam, and one about like teaching English, and then also about studying Vietnamese and living with Vietnamese people and working for Tuổi Cười as well. So that's why I should have finished it already, but my editor twice, she's like, come on, you gotta fix this in Vietnamese. It's so hard, right, to fix in Vietnamese. So it's coming very soon, but I have to fix it a little bit.
Thank you, Jesse, for all of your sharings, and good luck with your future plans. So I hope that the talk with Mr. Jesse Peterson has helped us a lot in having a glimpse in the life of an expat living in Vietnam, writing in Vietnamese, and bringing joy and love to Vietnamese. That's the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you again.